Religious censorship is a form of censorship where freedom of expression is controlled or limited using religious authority or on the basis of the teachings of the religion. This form of censorship has a long history and is practiced in many societies and by many religions. Examples include the Edict of Compiègne, the Index Librorum Prohibitorum, and the condemnation of Salman Rushdie's novel The Satanic Verses by Iranian leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Overview. Religious censorship is defined as the act of suppressing views that are contrary of those of an organized religion. It is usually performed on the grounds of blasphemy, heresy, sacrilege, or impiety, the censored work being viewed as obscene, challenging a dogma, or violating a religious taboo. Defending against these charges is often difficult as some religious traditions permit only the religious authorities to interpret doctrine and the interpretation is usually dogmatic. For instance, the Catholic Church banned hundreds of books on such grounds and maintained the Index Librorum Prohibitorum, most of which were writings that the Church's Holy Office had deemed dangerous, until the index's abolishment in 1965. In Christianity, the invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg around 1440 changed the nature of book publishing. As of the 16th century, in most European countries both the church and governments attempted to regulate and control printing. Governments established controls over printers across Europe, requiring them to have official licenses to trade and produce books. In 1557 the English crown aimed to stem the flow of dissent by chartering the Stationers' Company. The right to print was restricted to the 2 universities and the 21 existing printers in the City of London. In France, the 1551 Edict of Chateaubriand included provisions for unpacking and inspecting all books brought into France. The 1557 Edict of Compiègne applied the death penalty to heretics and resulted in the burning of a noblewoman at the stake. A first version of the Index Librorum Prohibitorum was promulgated by Pope Paul IV in 1559, and multiple revisions were made to it over the years. Some works named in the Index Librorum Prohibitorum are the writings of Desiderius Erasmus, a Catholic scholar who argued that the Comma Johanneum was probably forged under Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, a treatise by Nicolaus Copernicus arguing for a heliocentric orbit of the Earth. Both works that at the time contradicted the Church's official stance on particular issues. The final edition appeared in 1948, and it was formally abolished on 14 June 1966 by Pope Paul VI. However, the moral obligation of the index was not abolished, according to the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. Furthermore, the 1983 Code of Canon Law states that bishops have the duty and right to review material concerning faith or morals before it may be published. Some recent examples of Christian bans. In 1992, José Saramago's The Gospel According to Jesus Christ entry in the Aristean European Literary Prize was blocked by the Portuguese Under-Secretary of State for Culture due to pressures from the Catholic Church. The Da Vinci Code was banned in Samoa. In Islam, similar methodology has been carried out under Islamic theocracies, such as the fatwa against the Satanic Verses, ordering that the author be executed for blasphemy. Some Islamic societies have religious police, who seize banned consumer products and media regarded as un-Islamic, such as CDs, DVDs of various Western musical groups, television shows and film. In Saudi Arabia, religious police actively prevent the practice or proselytizing of non-Islamic religions within Arabia, where they are banned. This included the ban of the film, The Passion of the Christ. Examples of Muslim censorship. Depictions of Muhammad have inspired considerable controversy and censorship in the 2000s, including the image to the right. In Judaism, throughout the history of the publishing of Jewish books, various works have been censored or banned. These can be divided into two main categories. censorship by a non-Jewish government, and self-censorship. Self-censorship could be done either by the author himself, or by the publisher, out of fear from the Gentiles or public reaction. Another important distinction that has to be made is between the censorship which existed already on manuscripts before the printing press was invented, and the more official censorship after the printing press was invented. Gentile government censorship. Many studies have been written on censorship and its influence on the publishing of Jewish books. For example, studies have appeared on the censorship of Jewish books when they were first starting to be published in Italy in the 15th and 16th century. Other studies have been written on the censorship of the Tsarist government in Russia in the 19th century. Many of the official Christian government censors of Jewish books were Jewish apostates. The main reason for this was due to their knowledge of Hebrew, especially Rabbinic Hebrew. In Tsarist Russia in the 19th century, it was decreed that Jewish books could only be published in two cities, Vilnius and Zhytomyr. Censorship by Jewish religious authorities. The Mishnah prohibits the reading of extra-biblical books. The Talmud explains this to mean the Book of Ben Sirath. In the early 13th century, the philosophical book The Guide for the Perplexed by Maimonides was prohibited to be read until one was older by some French and Spanish Jewish leaders. Because of the perceived danger of philosophy, philosophy was prohibited to be learned until the age of 40. The same restriction was later applied to Kabbalah in the 15th century. In the 1720s, the Kabbalistic works of Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto were banned by religious leaders. In the 1690s, the book Pri Chadash was banned in Egypt for arguing on earlier authorities. In the modern era, when government censorship of Jewish books is uncommon, books are mainly self-censored, or banned by Orthodox Jewish religious authorities. Mark Shapiro points out that not all books considered heretical by Orthodox Jews are banned, only those books on which there is a risk that Orthodox Jews may read them are banned. Some examples: the Reconstructionist Siddur, revised by Mordecai Kaplan; Torah Study, a survey of classic sources on timely issues, by Rabbi Leo Levi, was banned by Rabbi Elazar Shach. It was banned because it discussed the value of studying subjects other than Torah. My Uncle the Netziv, an excerpt of the book Mekor Baruch by Rabbi Baruch Epstein, was banned by anonymous rabbis in Lakewood, New Jersey. It was banned because it was perceived to have said unflattering things about the Netziv. Hagaon, a biography of the Vilna Gaon, by Dov Eliach, was banned by Chassidic leaders for its attacks against Chassid Jews. The Science of Torah, by Rabbi Nathan Slifkin, was banned by Rabbi Yosef Shalom Elyashiv and others. It was banned because it explained how the theory of evolution can fit with Judaism. Evolution is opposed by many authorities. Slifkin's books Mysterious Creatures and the Camel, the Hare and the Hyrax were also banned, because they brought down opinions that Chazal could be incorrect in their scientific knowledge. Making of a Godel, by Rabbi Nathan Kamenetsky, was banned by Rabbi Yosef Shalom Elyashiv and other Orthodox Jewish authorities because of its sometimes unflattering portrayals of Jewish leaders. The Dignity of Difference, by Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, was banned by Rabbi Elyashiv and others. It was banned because it was perceived to equate Judaism with other religions. One people, two worlds. A Reform rabbi and an Orthodox rabbi explore the issues that divide them. By Reform Rabbi Amiel Hirsch and Orthodox Rabbi Yosef Rainman, was banned by the Motzes Gedolai HaTorah of Agudath Israel of America and the heads of Beth Medrash Govoha, Lakewood, New Jersey. Kosher Jesus, by Rabbi Shmuley Botich, was banned in 2012 by the Chabad Rabbi Jacob Emanuel Skashay, who labeled the book as heretical and stated that it poses a tremendous risk to the Jewish community, and that I have never read a book, let alone one authored by a purported from Jew, that does more to enhance the evangelical missionary message and agenda than the aforementioned book. Other examples: scientific theories, biological evolution, literature works by Taslim and Nasreen, The Power and the Glory, The cult of Manalo was banned by the Philippine sect Iglesia ni Cristo from being published in the Philippines. The Prophet is a feature film written and directed by Peter N. Alexander in 2001. Little seen. Worldwide distribution of the film was prohibited by an American court order, the result of a lawsuit by the Church of Scientology, although the filmmaker claims that the film is not about Scientology.